Can God create a stone that he can't lift? This is one of those quite old sort of logical puzzles towards omnipotence, right? Uh, I think it comes like from Roman times, so it's quite old, definitely from medieval scholastics. This question is like a logical puzzle, uh, and is guided towards the idea that God is limitless in his power, right? So he can do anything basically. So okay, can he create these illogical, nonsensical objects, right, which limit his power? So you might say, oh come on, like doesn't mean anything, right? Um, uh, why would we answer this question? That's like trying to create, married bachelor or something like this. These words don't make sense, and this is sort of like a reasonable view of this thing if you're a believer of omnipotence, like I am, as a Ben Noah, and probably most Muslims and Christians, the biggest religions also believe. But I don't know, still feels like an interesting question. So, of course, there are three answers to this question that can arise. First of those is that I have already told you. It doesn't matter because it's not something that could be real, something that could be. It's an illogical object, right? And similar to this answer is the second answer, which is answer of people like Thomas Aquinas, Catholics, who thought that God doesn't have power to limit his power. So, can he create this stone? No, no, because this creation of this stone would limit this power. This is something that annoyed René Descartes quite a lot. He also was Catholic, but he had different ideas. He thought that God is all powerful, and of course he controls also the laws of physics and the laws of logic and mathematics. Because of this, he can disregard those, and make things that are illogical to us. For example, regarding this particular question, Descartes said the following: can he create this stone? Yes, yes, he can. Can he raise it? Yes, also can. So, this seems like something illogical, but, God just can't do anything. He doesn't follow, the laws of logic. He doesn't have to follow those. Now, this is I like this answer, right? But it probably might have some problems. For example, I do believe that God can do this. It doesn't matter. It doesn't mean he will do this actually. So I believe that God is actually um, has created a perfect plan. He doesn't need to change things. He could, of course, but he wouldn't do it as a perfect creator. This is something being told in from Jewish sources. There's one particular Mishnah. Mm, it's in Perkei Avot, in chapter 5, Mishnah 6. It talks about things being created during creation. So Rambam, one of the famous, rabbis, he says this that this Mishnah talks about, and Mishnah, of course, being the oral tradition of Jews. This Mishnah talks about everything being created inside the creation, during the creation of the world, including the miracles. So, these miracles, like parting of the sea and others, these miracles have been created with the universe, not in the moment, but before, during the creation of the universe. And I think this means that these miracles that we see, they are not actually, you know, illogical, or disregard some laws of physics. For example, if you know, the the parting of the sea did happen, and you would put like a meteorologist with a bunch of equipment there, right there, you know, right beside Moses. If you did it with Moshe Rabbeinu, you know, there was a scientist. He wouldn't notice anything, you know, abnormal in terms of laws of physics. Like he would see a very anomalous sort of weather event, but it would be something like one in a million, right? It would be something that is possible. You know, we do know from quantum mechanics currently that basically anything is possible. You know, that just the probability is quite low for very absurd, you know, anomalous events. But yeah, of course, quantum mechanics is not the theory of everything. You know, it's just a model, but it, of course, it allows very improbable events. And I believe miracles are just that. You know, events that were, of course, made by God, but not in the moment. They were planned from the beginning. This is my view. And, you know, you can then argue a lot more later about his omnipotence. You know, can he break these laws? Yeah, he can, but I believe he can, but he doesn't need to do it. He won't do it because it doesn't make sense for him, you know, because he is perfect. He already created everything as he wanted all along, you know. Also, you can ask, can he create himself? Can he create God? If he's all powerful, no, probably not, right? Or in any meaningful sense of the word, definitely not. You know, maybe he can, but this would, you know, the first this second one would be the first one, and it wouldn't have the start, and you know, they would just collapse into a single one, and nothing would change in any meaningful way. I don't know. This is sort of just hypothetical, because we do believe that this wouldn't actually really happen. You know, he doesn't need to create anything anymore. He created everything that he needed to be in this world. You know, so we'll see, of course, and still, I believe this is a very interesting topic for this discussion. So, thank you for your attention.